Hi, Scott Whitley here. Welcome to this brand new bass guitar lesson on the subject of strumming the bass guitar. Now what I'm going to do in this first lesson is just give you a kind of overview of this strumming technique that I use. I'm not going to show you any specific patterns just yet. I'll do that in future lessons. But what I'm going to do, as I say, is give you a kind of overview of the technique and just show you what you can use it to do on the bass, you know, what kind of musical ideas you can incorporate it into, and we'll take it from there. So let's just have a look. I mean, in its most basic form, what I'm doing is kind of taking chords, you know, things like this, little double stops, you know, where you play two notes. As I say, I will show you specific patterns in future lessons. So you can use it for that kind of thing, which is really nice if you're doing a kind of solo piece, a bit like in the intro sequence there. It's kind of nice for that. You can use it, obviously, you know, in a band context, just to kind of really thicken things up. It's nice to kind of do a thing where you drone, you know, you play like an open string and you do something that kind of like, you know, works over the top of that droning string. So, you know, you've got all that kind of stuff. You can play kind of full chords. Another thing I like to use the strumming thing for is to play octaves. Now this really kind of gets your left hand damping working as well, because what I'm talking about, if you take say a D, for example, 5th fret on the A string and its octave, which would be the 7th fret on the G string, okay, and play those together, what you can do is kind of just strum through the strings and get this kind of really powerful sound. And if you put a bit of drive on there, I'm not going to try it just now, but if you put a bit of distortion on there, it can sound really cool. And you can use that just to kind of thicken odd lines and phrases up within a song. Trying to think of an example. I mean, let's just say, for example, you're playing a thing in E. And it kept doing that. Maybe, you know, kind of once every 4 times round, you know, the 4th one, you could kind of... You know, that sort of thing. So, you know, it can be really useful. And there's other kind of, you know, you can do a downstroke and an upstroke, of course. And you can also kind of incorporate an almost flamenco sort of style. You know, and so on and so forth. So you can really make it your own. Now, I'm going to show you just the basic mechanics of this technique right now. As I say, we'll show you some, or I'll show you some specific patterns in future lessons. But as I said, just to give you the mechanics, I don't like to generally, when I'm playing, have to kind of reach in my pocket and get a pick out or something like that just for a couple of phrases if I want to change what I'm doing, because obviously a pick works really well for this kind of strumming thing. So what I developed is, so I can keep using the fingers, or I kind of nicked a lot of this, to be quite honest. There's other guys like Stanley Clarke and guys like that. I kind of do this thing. And what they're doing is, and what I'm doing is strumming with basically the fingernails, the back of the fingers, okay, with a kind of outward motion. So you kind of clench your fist, well, not a tight fist, but just kind of a loose fist, and then just kind of push your fingers out. And as you do that, the fingers just brush across the top of the strings like that. So you get this kind of thing. So if you want to have a go at this, let's all be on the same page as it was. What I'm going to do, we'll play an E power chord. So get your first finger, put it on the 7th fret on the A string, okay, and then with I'm using my little finger. You could use your 3rd finger, whichever you want to do. And we're going to bar the 9th fret on the D and the G string. So that's first finger on the 7th fret on the A string, and then you're barring the 9th fret on the D and the G. So you get this. Okay. You can also just leave the E string ringing because this is a chord of E. Okay. So what we're going to do is, as I say, get your hand in a loose kind of fist shape, and then just hold your hand just over the strings like that, and then just push your fingers outwards, letting your fingernails just brush over the strings. Okay, so what we'll do, we're going to a kind of drum machine going, and we're going to do a down, 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 just like that, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just downstrokes all the time. Here with 3, 4. Okay, so what's going on after every downstroke? I'm just kind of returning to that almost loose kind of clenched fist position, okay? But what you can do while you kind of return into that loose kind of fist position, you can stroke the strings on the way up, getting an upstroke, okay? So let me just give you that in context. So here we go, down, up, down, up, down, up. Let's try that with the drum machine. So down and up, down, up, 3, 4. Try it faster, we'll double that up, so we're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Don't worry if you can't get this just yet, but let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go, and that's the basic mechanics of this strumming technique. And what I'd like you to do is just practice that from really slowly, as slowly as it needs to be, and then just gradually build up. If you can, use a metronome or a drum machine as usual. You know, I always recommend this. And then just build it up and build it up and build it up till you kind of as fast as you can comfortably. Okay, again, it's never about speed for the sake of speed, but the kind of the more control you have over any technique, it means that any rhythmic ideas you get, any melodic ideas, hopefully your fingers won't let you down. They'll just kind of play what you hear in your head. Okay. Obviously, just playing over that E might get a little bit boring. So what we'll do here, let me just show you a little bit of a damping technique. As I say, I'll show you lots more patterns in future lessons. But here we go. If you take what we're already doing, so that's first finger on the 7th fret and then barring the 9th on the D and the G, okay? If you get the tip of your first finger and just push it against the E string, I'm exaggerating that, so I'm actually moving the E string, but you see what I mean? You only need a light pressure. It kind of mutes the E. Okay, you might get a bit of a harmonic or something, but so what you get is this without that low. Okay. Now, because the E string isn't ringing now, you can take that chord position, chord shape, should I say, and move it down 2 frets. So your first finger's on the 5th fret. And this time your third or little finger is barring the 7th fret on the D and G, okay? And now you've got a D chord. If I weren't to have this finger touching the E would sound and you get this, which is a bit muddy sounding, okay? So, as I say, get the end of this first finger, just push it lightly against the E string, nice clean D power chord. And that way, you can practice doing your strumming over a couple of chords. You can move that around wherever you want on the neck, actually. Just one thing, because we're not playing the E string now, when you're doing the strumming with the right hand, kind of generally aim for just these 3 strings. You're going to accidentally hit this from time to time. But if you just kind of aim to be just mainly playing those 3 strings, that will help a lot. So I guess that's about it. That summarises this strumming technique. I hope that's inspired you to give it a go and get stuck in. As I say, we'll show you some really cool kind of patterns and chord progressions you can use with this strumming technique in future lessons. In the meantime, please check out my website, which is www.scott-whitley.com. Email me if you've got any problems or if you're having trouble with any of this stuff on scott@scott-whitley.com. I'll do my best to help. Please check out the Facebook page or my Twitter. Links in the description below. And that's it for now. See you in the next lesson. Cheers. Bye.